Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks Xbox 360 Edition. I am NitePHX. Today I am taking out the T34, which is the American Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank. Not to be confused with the other T34s in the game. The map is Steppes. It is a standard battle. I am in a platoon. We have Bump My Stump in his 112, the Tier 8 Chinese Heavy Premium Tank. Grey Ghost in his Freedom, Tier 8 American Medium Premium Tank. Shadow's in his IS-6, which is Tier 8 Soviet Heavy Tank. And Kreger is in his Freedom. Okay, so we're going to push northeast, see what we can't do about dominating that flank. This map has a tendency to play out. You got a bunch of friendly tanks meeting a bunch of enemy tanks in that gully that runs between A8 and OD or E0. Basically, our entire platoon is top tier. Everybody else on our team, with the exception of one other player, is Tier 7 or lower. And I'm going to say greater than 60% of the enemy team is Tier 7 or lower, so we shouldn't have any real issues penetrating anything that we meet down in the gully here. Always get a little concerned because of the way this is laid out here. It has a tendency to be face-to-face type combat, so if you're a lower tier vehicle, even in my Tier 8 T34, even though I have really good penetration on this thing, if I run into a Tier 10, it can be tough to penetrate them front on. Okay, so a couple of enemy have been spotted. I did take a snapshot at one of them, got nothing on them. We can see, looking at the mini-map, that the majority of the enemy team is still kind of in the vicinity of their flag. Starting to push up a little bit on the west side, but don't seem to be going anywhere fast. Pushing through this northeastern flank should be a breeze for us. So you just saw on the mini-map there we lost most of the enemy targets from the map. Okay, so Bump My Stump and Shadow are going to stay down in the gully. I'm going to come up on the ridge, see if I can't get these targets to light back up. When a T29 does show up, I take a shot. I did get a lock on him. My circle was red, but it did bounce. I think I probably hit him in the turret. And as you can see there, Bump My Stump does get a shot on him and takes the T29 out of the game. So we're lining up our platoon in the gully. I'm going to go up to the next ridge here, see if I can't get these guys to light back up again. We know they're probably still there. Well, we don't really know, but our assumption is if they're not showing up anywhere else, that they're all probably still sitting around their flag. T34 isn't exactly a spotting type vehicle. You know, on flat level hard ground I'll do 34 kilometers an hour. That's pretty rare. Yeah, but sometimes you just have to be patient. Now the front and rear turret armor on the T34 is incredibly tough. As long as I can keep my hull hidden, there's probably nothing on the enemy team that can actually penetrate the front of my hull. The side would be a different story, but we'll try not to give that to them. So you saw we did have a enemy T29 just sitting there nice and still asking to be shot, so I obliged him and put a shell into the side of him. So at this point we do have probably the entirety of their team lit up. We have our platoon is going to use the ridge coming out of the gully for cover, and we're just going to start putting shots into the enemy. Now the enemy does have a couple of little hills, dirt mounds to hide behind, get a little bit of cover from our guys. But these mounds are pretty small and there's an awful lot of them sitting back there. So at this point we pretty much have them pinned down. They can't really come from behind that mound without getting shot by 4 or 5 guys. They could turn and run, use the mound right here for cover. If they keep their tank between the mound and our guys, they could probably get away and not take any fire. So I'm going to, as I moved up to this hill here, I'm going to make sure nobody's going to be running away. And yeah, I'll admit, curiosity got the better of me here. I figured I'd poke my whole tank basically over this mound here, see if I can't get any shots. Realized real quick that's not a good place to be. This little hill here has a pretty decent little slope to it, so I'm thinking I can probably get in here, get some shots off, get back, and only expose my turret. So I did take some damage there, so that path I did expose more of my tank than I had hoped to. There's also a friendly medium tank here with me, so we can just, I'll pop out, take a shot, back off, he'll pop out, take a shot.
Let's find another target.
And we do come across the KV4, which can be frustratingly difficult to penetrate, but we did manage. So now the enemy has to consider me and the medium popping out here taking shots, as well as the rest of our platoon sitting down there by the ridge. I know I wouldn't want to be in their situation. And we do manage to penetrate that KV4 one more time for 409 points. And then I get hit in the butt and tracked. And I'm thinking, there's a Tiger 2 sitting back at our base. How the heck did he get back there? You know, we got 3 friendlies sitting back at our base just to the west of it. We pushed up the eastern flank, dominated that. The only option really was he had to push right up the front or right up the middle, and you're telling me we let a Tiger 2 just push right up the middle of the map and get to our flag? Fortunately, he only gets one shot on my rear end before our team does finish him off. Or not as I watch it. Do we really finish him off, or he's just turned his attention to somebody else because he just killed one of our guys? I did pull up a little bit too far there, took a shot in the side. My loader, oh, what do you say, bit the farm? Use our med kit, put him back into service. T34 is a really slow reload to begin with. Certainly don't need to lose my loader. Alright, so we inch forward here. We see the AV3, we take a shot on him and we bounce it. Alright, we see at some point here in the last minute or so the Tiger did manage to take out Grego, so we're down 1 platoon member. We are up 1 tank, but we do have all these guys still pinned down over here. That IS-3 is working that dead tank pretty well. And we are starting to get some assisted damage here, so that means we're the one who's keeping the enemy detected, highlighted, spotted here. You can see Kreger does manage to finish off that IS-3, and we see the Tiger, and that is the limit of my gun depression. The gun depression on T34 is good. If I would have had 1 more degree of gun depression, I probably would have finished him off. Instead, he gets a shot on me. I was really pretty sure the only thing he was going to be able to shoot, from what I could see from him, would have been my turret, and there's no way a Tiger could penetrate my turret. So I can only guess he shot me in the side. I don't think he could have seen the little rounded cupola on the top of my tank, which is a weak spot. He was just too low when I was angled back too far. You can see the angle there. There's no way he would have been able to see that thing. But then again, we're all probably very familiar with it. We've all been shot by tanks that we know could not possibly have shot you, but it happens. At any rate, we've managed to dwindle them down to 2 to our, what do we got, 6 left? And 3 of the 6 are in our platoon. And with our superior numbers, it definitely makes sense to just go ahead and push the enemy now. Only enemy remaining right now is the AT8, which really shouldn't be too big of a problem for our Tier 8 platoon. Just shoot him in the big old cupola in the top and you'll finish him off. And that was it, 2 shots, and Shadow manages to get the final kill and a victory. Alright, so we'll take a quick look at the post-game stats here. I did manage to get 87,000 silver and 1,934 experience on that. That is a premium account. I did get 1 kill, 2,131 damage, 451 assisted, and I did block 1,030 damage. Looks like the Vickers 36 had a pretty good game. He came away with 3,600 damage and 5 kills. You know, 6 players on our team who did over 1,000 damage, 2 that did over 2,000, and 1 that did over 3,000. So as a platoon, I think we played pretty well together. We got the job done. We won the game. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button below. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. You'll get notifications of when I post new videos. And as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.